Well, hello there. My name is Trevor Petty. I'm the director, but also the campus minister at UNC in Greeley. And as I think back on the school year, last August seems like a long, long time ago, largely because of our experience with the coronavirus this last month or so. But it's been another good year here at UNC. So each week we have a gathering Wednesday nights at a coffee shop just across the street from campus. And this fall, we were working through the book of Acts and looking at these profiles of bold faith together. This spring, we continued on Wednesday nights, digging into a different epistle each week. Outside of that, we had a fall and a winter retreat, which were both successes and continue to be a highlight of the year for many of our students. There's many other different kinds of activities, social gatherings, game nights, etc., that promote fellowship. But I think a big part of what's been happening here at UNC this year relates to what we call our gospel studies and our discipleship studies. And so in this gospel study, what we do is we try to get students to gather in small groups of 3 to 5 students, so just a few. And together they work through a series of stories that walks them through the gospel so they can encounter who Jesus is firsthand through the scriptures. And the goal as we do that is that everything we do would be easily replicated by students. So it gives them a tool that they can invite their peers to explore who Jesus is with them. And so over the years, as we've continued just to refine that and do some different trainings to help simplify that and better prepare and equip students, coming into the school year, we were excited to see where that might go. And our goal, we were praying for 3 student-led gospel groups this fall. And sure enough, right away, we had 3. One of them got pushed back until the spring, but that was really exciting to see. And then just building on that now, we've had 5 student-led gospel studies this spring. And outside of that, we've had multiple other student-led discipleship groups, which continue to give students ways that they can encounter the scriptures together as they consider what it means and how to live that out in their own lives. And so up next, I've asked a couple of students just to share some more about what that's been like to participate and lead this year. And so now I have with us here Benjamin and Emma, and they're going to share a little bit about their experience with these studies as well. And so first, why don't you each just take a second here to introduce yourselves a little bit.
Hi, everyone. My name is Benjamin. I am a junior music education major at UNC, and I've been with Impact for the past couple of years, and I'm from Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emma. I am a junior in Colorado, and I am in the School of Nursing, which I love dearly. I've been a part of Impact for a few years, and I'm currently recording from my home in Littleton.
So yeah, it's probably been a couple years now for both of you, but some time ago, you were once invited to participate in a gospel study for the first time. Why don't you tell us what that was like for you going through that for the first time?
My first time was my sophomore year, and it was the first time I had ever been part of any sort of study like that, so I was a bit nervous. I've come from a Christian background, and it was a really good opportunity for me to just kind of solidify the things that I thought I knew about the Christian faith and kind of relearn things that I wasn't so sure about.
Yeah, so I did my first gospel study with Trevor, my first semester of my freshman year, and it was a whole wave of changes that semester, and I was really just looking to get grounded in my faith and find a community and find a church nearby, and a lot of different things. And so this was something that Trevor reached out to me about that I was just really excited. It was just a great experience, getting to know and meet Trevor every week, and just have our meetings where we could just talk about stuff that I had questions about, and helping me get more grounded in my own faith.
And at that time, would you say you would have ever imagined that you'd end up leading numerous other people through the study?
Probably not. Yep, I was just a little freshman that was just learning more about what I'd grown up learning. I grew up in a Christian family, and so this was just reinforcing a lot of those things, but definitely didn't really think that I would one day be teaching it at all.
Thinking about leading one of those studies was terrifying. When Trevor first brought that up with me, I didn't feel like I was somebody who could ever do that with another person, let alone someone who maybe was new to the faith. So thinking about that was so scary.
Well, now you've both actually led several people through that, and we've had several student-led studies going on even now. Now that you've been on the other side of it, how has that affected your faith, and what's that been like for you?
I would say that my faith has been radically impacted by just taking a chance to lead other people who, funnily enough, had a Christian background through the gospel studies. It honestly has kind of taught me to trust in God more, in the sense that I didn't feel capable in my ability to answer people's questions about the gospels, and feel really confident and that I would have the right answers, but realizing that it's not me who's giving those answers, it's God working through me. And even though I didn't feel capable, it was just on me to trust God that he would do what needed to be done in those moments.
Yeah, and I'd say I have a very similar experience, that I just over time doing it with multiple different people have learned to lean into what God's saying, and what it is that that specific person needs that day or that week. And it's become a lot more natural. It's been super cool to see how I went from just shakily introducing this story and reading off of the page that we had and asking questions that were kind of easy to answer, and I was just looking to get an answer out of the person. But now we're just it's very natural. It's a great conversation, and it's just been really great to see how I've grown in my own understanding of the stories and the studies in the Bible, but also being able to translate that to others. If anybody has any questions regarding those things, I feel a lot more equipped to answer them.
And now, and this has been really neat this semester, actually, just as the university shut down and went online only, Benjamin has had the chance to walk a couple of people through the study who actually have no background, and this is all brand new too. And so, Benjamin, why don't you tell us a little about that experience? Because I know that's been very different for you, and I would love to hear about that.
Yeah. So I've led a couple of gospel studies and other studies with students that came from a Christian background and were just looking to get more rooted in their faith. But I had a couple of friends, I was looking for someone who maybe that wasn't actually that familiar to, or they didn't grow up in a Christian family, or didn't have much knowledge of those stories. And so, funnily enough, like right before all of this shutdown stuff happened, I had a couple friends that just kind of came into my life, and I hadn't really even thought about doing or asking that of them before. And usually we're all pretty busy, so we weren't able to find a good time, but then all of this happened, and so it just opened up a perfect opportunity for us to start meeting weekly, virtually, of course. But man, it's been an incredible experience. I would say just seeing some of the backgrounds that these guys are coming from has just really opened my eyes to just the absolute hunger that they have for interacting with God's word. And I would expect almost that they wouldn't be super interested in it, or they'd be really quick to discredit everything that I'm trying to tell them. When it's been quite the opposite. I'll come and they'll just have a list of questions to ask, and we just end up sitting for 1-2 hours on end, just talking about stuff that they've been confused about, and stuff that they've heard something about, but they're wondering, what does this really mean? What is this all about? And so it's just been a great, super enriching experience for me, just to see them grow, to be able to be there with them as they are growing, but also to understand that the Lord's really doing some great things within them. It's not a result of anything I'm doing, but just a result of what He's working through them. And it's just been so cool to see how they've just really reacted and approached the faith with such hunger. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, and it's been really fun to see these things develop over time for both Benjamin and Emma. I'm excited because they both have another year ahead of them, and so it's a joy to get to have them still be a part of Impact as this all continues. And so hopefully, you all out there will get to hear some more stories in the years to come of the way that God continues to work through the Gospels, through people taking steps of faith to invite others to explore who Jesus is. So thank you, Benjamin and Emma, for being here and for sharing with us today. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. Again, I know that these are some unique circumstances, but it means a lot to us that you would get together with us here virtually to celebrate what God has been doing on campus this year. If you have a few more minutes, I'd encourage you to keep looking around. If you're on a Facebook watch party, you should notice there's additional videos profiling the other ministries at Colorado Springs and in Fort Collins. Or if you're on our website, impactingcolorado.com, you should see them available to you there also. There on our website, you'll also find some different ways you can give online, as well as some different slideshows and things like that you can interact with. So again, thanks so much for joining us today. It means a lot to us that you're here. We pray that you'll continue to stay safe, and God bless.